We just told you about Jim Devine. He's a Democratic strategist in New Jersey who tweeted with Hunt Republicans and Hunt Republican Congressman hashtags. Are these violent words and deeds on the left getting the attention they deserve? We're joined now by John Daniel Davidson. He's a senior correspondent for The Federalist. Thank you so much for being here. Earlier today, you wrote a piece in which one of the things you start off by saying is that left-wing student activism is beginning to creep off campus and into mainstream life. What has been that trajectory, and where do you think it's going?
Well, I think that we've seen a gradual escalation in left-wing rhetoric, but also left-wing violence, right? It starts on campus, and most things that start on campus end up in, mainstream public life. And for anybody who cares to do the research, going back over the past year and a half, there are dozens of incidences of political violence specifically against Trump supporters and Republicans by progressive Democratic activists. So, political violence at some level is something that some on the left are comfortable with. And sometimes you find a guy who's willing to go way, way too far, and that's what we had this week. The
violence really has been shocking, and I think we have the video of one of the tapes that makes me cringe every time I see it. It was a Trump supporter. He's at a protest, and he gets hit in the head and the face with a lock.
Your client.
Yeah, this sort of thing is, we saw it through the campaign, and to be fair, we saw it on both sides, okay? You had Trump supporters sucker punching protesters at Trump rallies, and it's ugly, and it should be condemned no matter who's doing it. But let's be honest, the mainstream media treats political violence differently when it comes from the right than when it comes from the left. And I think that you see that even now in the news coverage, 48 hours after this shooting, we've moved on. The national news cycle has moved on, and the top story is Mike Pence got a lawyer. Give me a break.
Well, the other thing that we just heard from Catherine Herridge is the reporting tonight that we know that Hodgkinson was carrying around a list. So the targeting was obviously, it wasn't just Republicans in general. I mean, it was absolutely, talk about hunting congressmen. He actually had a list, and that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, and these stories don't get the attention that they should. A lot of people don't remember the name Floyd Lee Corkins. He was the guy that stormed into the Family Research Council in 2012
yes, in
with a 9mm. That's right. And he was intent on shooting as many people there as he could. And a heroic security guard stopped him, was wounded in the process. But this guy confessed that he got the idea. He was inspired by the Southern Poverty Law Center's hate map. The Southern Poverty Law Center is considered by the mainstream media and people in D.C. as a respectable organization that still has its hate map up today. You can pull it up online. So when we talk about political violence inspiring or political rhetoric inspiring violence, we don't see the same kind of coverage when it comes from the left as when it comes from the right.
Last night on The Five, Greg Gutfeld walked through a list of several of the incidences that, as you write about also in your article today. And I wonder if you get the sense in any of your research that the left is actually taking pause a little bit and saying, wait, okay, maybe we do actually have some responsibility here, and it's not just the right. I mean, I'm not sure if we're actually seeing that. I mean, there's been some loose talk about that this week, but it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
I think the left is eager not to talk about this and to move on to the Trump investigation, to move on to other things. But we really do need to talk about this, and we need to have a national conversation that tries to bring the temperature down. And the reason I think the mainstream media and a lot of people on the left, especially Democratic leadership, doesn't want to talk about it is because they know that the violent rhetoric and the actual violence is, for the most part, right now coming from the left.
And it's not fun and games anymore. Somebody actually got hurt. Several people got hurt. We have one of the victims is still in serious condition, and Scalise, the congressman who was injured, is in critical condition still. John, thank you for your reporting. We appreciate it.
Thank you.